Hello, a mastery project by 12th grade CM1 student and Scorpio Gigi.
Yay! Hello everyone. So as I was introduced, my name is Gigi and today I'm going to show you my mastery project, Halo. So Halo is actually a fashion collection that I made consisting of 4 different outfits that modernize the traditional Filipino. So Halo translated from Filipino to English is actually mix. And this is a theme that I wanted to incorporate throughout the entire collection. I wanted to combine the traditional with the modern, combining my personal Filipino culture with my passion for fashion design, and taking all of these different elements and combining them into what you will see is as Halo. And so on the next slide, I have some pictures of what traditional Filipino clothing actually is. And so some key elements here, you can see the really big sleeves that a lot of the women are wearing, and this is called the turno sleeve. And this is because 1, the Philippines is a very hot country, and 2, back then, the Philippines was also a very conservative country. And so these sleeves were super big and flowy, and this allowed women back then to keep cool without showing too much skin. And this was one of the main things that I wanted to incorporate into my collection. Another key element that you can see are the different plaid and checkered and pattern prints of the skirts. This is something that I also wanted to incorporate. You can see the 2 women wearing the pink and the yellow wrap skirts. Those are called malongs, and this was very significant pre-colonial times in the Philippines. And so just keeping those in mind, I wanted to really accurately represent what Filipino traditional culture really is. And so I was able to do that. And on the next slide, I took all of those different elements together and I actually started to make my own clothes. And so some people that are familiar with some fashion design terminology, you might understand what I'm talking about here. But I started off with the fashion sketches, and then I went on to draft the patterns. I cut them out, put them onto the fabric, pinned those all together, and then I sewed all the pieces together. And on the next slide, you can see my very first outfit that I made. This is my Terno suit. And so another brief history lesson. The Philippines was actually conquered by the Spanish for 333 years, and purple was a very significant color for not only priests, but also royalty. And so that color significance combined with the powerful silhouette of the pantsuit created this overall really bold and powerful look. And through this look, I wanted to acknowledge the Philippines' history of colonialism, but in a way that shows that, yes, this was not the most ideal part of our history, but as Filipinos, we were able to push through it, and it is definitely something that made us who we are today. And you can also see the really beautiful turno sleeves that matched up with the cropped kind of denim jacket feel with the high-waisted turno pants. You can see all these different elements come together to create this really beautiful fusion of what traditional and modern really is, while also giving appropriateness to our history. And so that was my first outfit. And my second outfit is the piña dress. And so what's really interesting, one of my favorite parts about this outfit is the material that I used. I used piña silk, which is pineapple fibers and silk weaved into a fabric. And this fabric is typically used for traditional male attire, and that's called the barong Tagalog. But I decided to use that same material to create a dress, which is, as we know, a more feminine shape and silhouette. And so again, staying true to the Halo mix theme, I was able to use different elements to create this beautiful piece. And again, you can see the turno sleeves, which is very traditional, but I added a garter on the bottom. And so that created the more modern puff sleeve that I'm sure everyone has seen on social media and their Pinterest boards, while also with the mini crop dress. And so pairing these 2 pieces together created this really cool fusion of what traditional and trendy can be. And I am also holding a fruit basket just because I felt like I needed to do that in this outfit. And in the next slide, my third out of the 4th outfit is my rendition of the barot saya. So in the Philippines, barot saya translates to blouse and skirt. And in the pictures that I showed of the traditional Filipino clothing, you might have saw some of that. But I have the turno sleeves once again, but with the garter, so it creates this more modern, trendy sleeve, And then I also sheared the bodice. And so putting these two together, again, a perfect fusion of trendy and traditional. And in the burot saya, it's really common for women to have the wraparound skirt, but it's usually really long all the way to the floor. But for the more modern cut, I made it mini. And then I also paired it with the triangle headscarf, which is a very common accessory that Filipinos used to wear back then. And so that is my modern rendition of the burot saya. And my last and final outfit, which is probably one of my favorites, is my rendition of the Maria Clara. And so, as I mentioned before, we're very fond of using the patterns, the plaids, prints, checkered stripes. And so instead of just using it for the skirt, I decided to use it for the entire dress. And again, you can see very beautiful tono sleeves that I love. This is probably the most traditional kind of sleeve that you'll see, with the empire cut and the cropped fit. You can see like the modern elements as well. And so once again, I was able to create the perfect halo of what traditional and trendy is. And I also paired it with a matching bucket hat. That, fun fact, is actually reversible. It reverses into a white bucket hat, which you can't see in the picture, but I did it. And so those are my 4 different outfits. On the next slide, you can see all of them side by side. So I have my piña dress, the Maria Clara dress, Donal suit, and my rendition of the burot saya. And so I really wanted to find the right balance between what trendy and traditional was, while also showing true cultural appreciation to my own culture in garments that I would genuinely wear today. And so that is Halo, Modernizing the Traditional Filipino by Gigi. Thank you so much.